Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is Non-Gone and today we're playing Katamari Damacy REROLL on the PS4. This is part 3 and the final part of a speed platinum walkthrough. We're going to try and get the trophies as quickly as possible. As you can see, the current record is 34 hours. We're going to be smashing that. That's not even an issue. This one's going to be a little bit different. So we've been going at breakneck pace. There's 46 level playthroughs in my run. 45 is the minimum. I had one just to get the polar bear because it's easier than the other way. And we've done 38 of those, so we only got 8 levels to go. The 38 that we've done, we did in like 38 minutes of video. So it's like 1 minute per level, which is kind of crazy. We're 5 hours and 17 minutes into the run. And we're going to slow it down a little bit. And I figure if you're this far into it, you probably are into actually going to attempt something like this. And the item check is the one that kind of exhibits a lot of the higher level thinking involved in doing and planning something like this. And also the work involved as well. There's multiple iterations of practice runs, and the more you do, the better you'll get. Like I said, pimittens speed run for the 1438 category is 4 hours and 16 minutes. I'm going to be somewhere under 10 is what I'm shooting for. So there's a lot of room to improve in between there. And again, the contest is there. It's described in the first video that I'm offering. So check that out. So most of the higher level thinking that I'm talking about revolves around the first item check. And if you are good and well practiced, like a speedrunner, say Pimittens, you will do the item check when he does, which is much more efficient. He does it 31 of the 45 levels into the game. So he's still got the 6 auto scrollers to do his second playthrough to get the cousins, and then make a star 6 through the moon and the 3 Eternals. And that is designed to catch anything without having to do a separate playthrough. So anything that you forget. If you look at his notes, which I'll put the front page up here, you see the item check that says 1407 plus however many rings you got. So that's 1,411 of the 1438, which leaves 27 items left is what you should have left. And then it breaks it down kind of by what number you should have in each one. If you look at it though, of those 27, 15 of them are still the remaining cousins because there's 14 playthroughs plus Gemini has 2 cousins. 4 of them are items that are only in the Eternal levels, so we haven't played them at all yet. And then 8 of them are items that we actually picked up in our run. It took a little longer, but you know, I routed them to specifically get some of these items. So that's really what's left. Now, if you have done dozens and dozens of iterations of this, dozens and dozens of practice runs, you can do this and you'll get pretty close to that 1407. So you look and go, or that 1411. So you look and go, oh, okay, 1406. Which 5 ones am I missing? And you add that then to the remaining levels that you're doing. So that's great. If you have done that kind of practice. I have not, though. I'm kind of a scrub, and I've only done 1.5 practice runs. And so you can see what happened my first practice run when I went to do this item check. I had like 89 items missing or something. Okay, so that is incredibly unwieldy. There's absolutely no way in an actual attempt at a speed platinum run that you could sift through 89 items, even with this great spreadsheet that's available, and locate them all, find the levels, and plan a level in any sort of efficient manner. It'll take you 2 hours just to look through the spreadsheet. So rather than do dozens and dozens of playthroughs to get this down to a few items, what I'm going to do is move my item check back to where I just where I just do it later. I'm going to do the other 14 levels and we'll do the item check at the end. Now, I didn't do that after my first playthrough. I went and found all 89 items and then did the rest of these levels with an intent to try to pick them up. In this case, I added them to my notes. So the video that you've seen with each level has a lot of those items included that I missed from my first playthrough. So you'll be in better shape than I was already just by watching this video. But the idea is that the more and more you do it, the further and further back you can move your item check, because you'll be missing less items, and then you can include them in your second run instead of what I have to do, which is hope for the best when I get to the end. So because I'm not doing the item check at this point in the run, I've included all of these in my actual videos. So there's really nothing else to do in our case except go ahead and run the last 8 levels, hope for the best, and then do an item check at the end. And hopefully we should have everything or close to everything. And then I'll do my actual run and we'll close this thing out. So let's go ahead and get started. So Eternal 1 is next. It's basically Megastar 4 without time constraints. Start by dropping down here and grabbing the foreign coin over here by the plug. That's on Megastar 4 as well if you want to get it. And then the gold crayon, which is unique to Eternal 1, is over here by these mice. Do the regular route till you get to 80.8. You can get the cousin in the kitchen by the fridge. And then pick up anything else you need. I always miss the cardboard box in the backyard at 96.3, so I get that. You can quit whenever you want and go back to the menu, and it will make a star and count. Make a star 6 is next. Should be pretty easy if you were thorough before. I tend to leave the garden too early on my first run. You got to be 1.8 to pick up these fruit cartons. So either stay longer or come back later. The cousin is nickel and is down right here. You got to be 69.9 to pick them up, and don't get too big or they'll disappear. Back to Make a Star 7. So I was missing 5 things in my first round. All of these could be got in your first run if you do a better route than me. But this is what I was missing. So best mask in the starting area here, the giant lotus leaf in the pond right there. The miso, of course, you need to get the second time. They'll be on the cow in the little area here. And then the 2 bars up in the schoolyard. The bigger one, you have to be 6.36, I think, to pick up. So get big and then quit. All right, Make a Star 8 is next. It'll probably take a little longer than the other ones because there's a lot of stuff that I missed. That's fine. It's a long one. It's getting towards the end. First, make sure you get your ring if you need it. Remember, there's 4 and they randomly spawn. And then run your regular route till you get to the lower town here. In the lower town, there are a bunch of signs in these shops that I mentioned before. They are unique, and you got to be a little bit bigger to get them. I missed the bookstore, drugstore, and ramen signs the first time, so come back in right when you get to like 1.5. As soon as you do that, head out the 1.5 meter barrier and turn left to get the umbrella shop sign right here. It'll disappear when you get too big. And then head up the road here towards the tunnel, and there's a big blue sign here that you got to be about 4.5 to get, so come back and get that. And the second step is right past it, and it will disappear when you hit 5, so get it early. There's a stereo shelf next to the playground here. There's a weathercock on top of the farm building. The cousin is on the road here. There's a seal in the lake. A lawn roller is on the road. I never did find it, but I eventually got it. So, and then once you hit 5 meters, go straight to the construction site, get the water tank sign, and then head around the original town and get the town map if you didn't on your first run. I also missed this picnic table up here by the bear circus, or that, I don't know, wobbly tent looking thing. And I think that was it, except for the gas station. So the gas station's easy to get, but once you do it, make sure you roll back in there and get the car wash. It's kind of hiding under it, so you got to clear the one before you can get the other. And that should do it for Make a Star 8. So we're up to Eternal 2, and we got to talk real quickly about ring luck. The game has 4 rings in it: Diamond, Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby. The Ruby ring spawns 100% of the time under the car in Make a Star 3, but the other 3 are random. And this is where you want to clean that up, right there in this channel. Because 1, it's right at the beginning, and 2, it's an eternal level, so you can quit as soon as you get it, no matter how big you are. So do that until you get all 3, and then we'll move on. There's not a lot left unless you missed a bunch and Make a Star 8 to this level. So the first part's in the lower town. Make sure you get the watercolor off the top of this copy machine. It takes a while. That's why I like to do it in Eternal. As soon as you hit 1.5, drop down into the center island. You want to get the 9th step before it disappears. And if you have not got the gate lamp from Make a Star 4 or Eternal 1, this is where you go. That will also disappear quickly. June is the cousin. She's running around on the road, and that is really it for this level. So let's move on to 9. Make a Star 9 is next, and it's pretty easy. The boat rental sign is out here on the pier. I missed that the first time. Velvet is the cousin. She's up in the schoolyard, and she is small, so get up there between 3 and 6. Judo contest is in the ring in the upper town. The panda sign, when you get about 6.58, is up in the ranch under the windmills. The gym storage is one of these outbuildings here by the high school. And the sailboat rental says it's unmissable. It is a building, and you got to be 13.46.1. It's the one right by the boat rental sign that we picked up. Other than that, we're done with 9. All right, Make of the Moon is next, and it is very complex, but we got most of the stuff already, so I'll try and be a little bit quick. The tricycle is in the lower town right here. The dip is in the schoolyard behind this podium. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the best size to come up here is. If you're too small, you get bonked around by the watermelons, and dip can fall off. If you're too big, dip disappears. So I don't even really know what the good time is. The school gate's here too. It's that green thing. You got to be about 8 something, I think, to get it. In the upper town, the balance beam, there's a line of them up the road near the bathhouse. The parking turntable, if you haven't got one yet, you got to be 8.64.9 to get it. And then the connecting bridge between the hotels when you get bigger and the cowshed. And then we're going to head over to that first little market town there. And you want to be close to 20, just like last time, so we can get all these signs and hope they don't bonk off the Katamari. The dental sign's back here, the company sign's back here, and then the hotel sign is across the way, hanging from the side of a building. You also want to look for these 3 cargo containers, the red, green, and blue. I do them on the way down. I just drop off and then run back around the lake. And that does it for about that size. Head back to the starting area and get the prop plane that's flying around if you haven't yet. And then the Ryokan building I somehow missed. It's the one nestled into the beach right there. You can be close to 50 to get it, so make sure you grab that. And then that's pretty much it until we get really big. When you get to about 200, head out to the island with the rainbow over it and roll up the college if you haven't yet. Then point towards the Onis that are out there and roll towards them to get an island called the Takeda Residence. And that is the whole island, not a building, so you can get it when you're big. Also, if you haven't got the giant sea turtle yet, it's swimming around with a couple of windmills on it and stuff, so grab that. And then also Pigeon Town, I also forgot that, so get that if you can. And that's it. If you did everything right, all you've got left is Eternal 3, and there's only one item left, which would be Ace, the cousin, and he's right here by the pond, so just get to about 1.5 or 2 and go grab him, and you can quit, and that would be it. For me, this was 6 hours and 37 minutes total runtime for the 4 splits. This particular split, these 8 levels, took me 1 hour and 20, which I feel is a pretty accurate one. So I'm happy with 637. That gives me, with my 10-hour goal, 3.5 hours almost to figure out what I missed, write it all down, do a route that has these levels in it, and pick up whatever it is. So without further ado, let's get into item check number 2. So as you can see, we did a lot better the second time around than the first. We're missing 22 items instead of the original 89. I went ahead and looked, and about 2 or 3 of them are from auto-scrollers. So we added those to the route, and I've included them in the video. 5 of them are from that little area in Make the Moon, that first town, because I didn't understand fully how small you had to be when you went up there. Be as close to 20 as possible. Those hotel signs despawn when you hit 30, and you're going to gain a lot of size when you're up in the town trying to get to the signs. So make sure you do that. Also, I didn't know the containers were all in one place at the time, so I've added all that to these videos, so that should help you. And that leaves about a dozen, 10 or 15 items that I'm just going to chalk up to RNG. I feel like I could do 10 practice runs and end up with 10 or 15 items that are missing at the end, and they'd be different every time. And as a result, there's no value to doing more practice runs, because run 11 will be just the same as run 10. I give you that advice as well, too. If you're spending time working this out and practicing and you get it down to that good, maybe spend more time on Taurus, maybe work out your lanes a little better and like make a Star 7 or make the Moon. That's probably time better spent, because you'll get it back every time. With that being said, I'm pretty comfortable that I'm good enough to get this thing in under 10 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and get a good night's sleep, and I'll see you in the morning. I will let you know how this run came out. Okay, so miracle of modern technology. We're almost done. We're a couple hours. We're a couple minutes from finishing Corona Borealis again. And we had one item to get in this level. It was the vase randomly. And yeah, I'm just waiting for the clock to run down. So I'll tell you about the run, give you a synopsis of what happened. Everything went pretty well according to plan. I had a little trouble, or a lot of trouble, in the cow level and the bear level. The cow level was fine. I got it quicker than I normally do, but I just could not hit that Kintaro bear. Every mistake you could possibly make on the level, I did. And 15 tries or so is just killing me, getting really frustrated. And then I remembered, I do this every time with speed platinums. It had been almost 5 hours of constant gameplay without taking a break, and I was just getting stupid. So be prepared, good self-care. The first 3 videos is all about being prepared, but you know, we didn't talk about being hydrated and being fed and being awake, having a good night's sleep the night before. So do that. I took a break, sat back down, did another level to cleanse my palate, got the Kintaro Bear the next try. So that was that. I probably lost 45 minutes, but I made up like 15 of it, doing better on the cow level. And I was able to make up other times so that my 6:37 split ended up being 6:41 in real time. So that's only 4 minutes off my practice run pace. So I was really happy about that. As I suspected, my item check yielded 23 missing items, most of which were completely random. Some of them I knew. And so I routed that, and we're about 8 hours in, and I just got this vase left. So let's go ahead and finish the level. And there it is. That's the King of Katamari Damacy, and that's also the Platinum Trophy. And we are done. We are successful. I'm excited to report with a time of 8 hours and 37 minutes. That's an hour and 23 faster than I wanted to do, and like almost 30 hours faster than the current time. So I consider this definitely a success. This is pretty much exactly the line I wanted to walk. If you want to beat this, you're going to have to try, but you don't have to try too hard. So check it out. Watch the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thanks so much to my wife, Mrs. Gone, for her support as always with this and in real life. Thanks again to Pimittens for doing basically all the work. Probably going to do Katamari Forever next, roll back to the PS3. And we'll do some live action videos and all that kind of stuff, just like always. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and stay bad, people. Non-gone is gone.